How's it going, Cancerian community? You know who it is. It's Soul Tigress with a special story for who? This wonderful frequency. So first off, let me start this off by saying thank you so much for your time, your energy, and your patience as I navigate what's going on in this story between the good, the bad, the ugly, the beautiful, and everything in between. With that being said, please keep in mind that this is a space where we call in the angels, ancestors, spirit guides, as well as divine and universal energy to come on in and be the guides and protectors for all the positive messages that are going to come out. Now, keep in mind that this is not love tarot here. This channel is geared around self-empowerment, and what that means to me is building the stepping stones to get closer to our soul being, which helps align us with a higher power. So, Cancerian, what is in the water? Your energy has been in the water. I'm not gonna lie, y'all. I don't know what it was. Even when I was doing the new moon, full moon interpretation, I think even to the short stories as well, it was a lot of Cancerian energy that's around. And I want to say maybe for each story, or a good 75% of all the other stories have had some kind of Cancerian energy influence. And that's your fourth house, establishing foundations, along with the moon energy as well. So y'all must be feeling it this month. I'm here to confirm it if you've been feeling it. So let's go ahead and start out with the vibe. Move out of your way, Cancerian. You need to let stuff flow so you can have this fresh start. Don't do it. Don't bring the problems you faced with other people, places, or things in the past. And that is the key right there. The past to your new starts. This is leaving you judging a book by the cover before you even know what's up. Never really getting to experience this new thing to its fullest. Help yourself get out of your way by giving yourself permission to let go and release what no longer serves you anymore. You are capable of building so much. It's time to let go of the old plans that didn't work and work on a new blueprint for your life, for your new endeavors, for your career, for your family, for wherever you're being pulled to with this new start. Don't be overcritical of yourself, overanalyzing your past mistakes. These very, very mistakes were meant to be the balls, excuse me. It wasn't meant to be the ball and chain that you have to drag around on your path, on your journey throughout your life story. What this was meant to do is you were supposed to learn how to free yourself from such things. And the biggest example that I am given here, Cancerian, is insecurities, or particular insecurity that you dealt with when you were in these past situations. If we don't recognize the lessons, because everybody is a reflection of us. Even the places where we go to is some reflection of us. And they are meant to challenge us. They're meant to challenge our insecurities so that we can build from them. Not have them build our insecurities up to weigh us down more. So let's go ahead and get started with the introduction, Cancerian. I have the Butterfly Oracle for life changes right here. So let's see if you guys can see that. Oh, there's the butterfly right there. So let's go ahead. Divine and universal energy, I hear, wants to be called in for this one. So what needs to come out for the introduction? Ooh. Something you're a little worried about is joining on in. We have an ending to an error. Ooh. Adult children and volunteering. All of these landing out in confused position. The only one that's different, that's in the confused position, excuse me, is this join in. Now, if this has to do with your fresh start, you are unsure how to fully commit. And that fully commit kind of thing comes at the anxieties of what has happened in the past. You know, we haven't put quite an end to those past experiences that we could have been dealing with a lot of adult children. Adult children who we found it really hard to find our voices around. Maybe we kind of volunteered too much of our time here instead of realizing when we should have went. And instead of being hard on yourself for being rooted down for so long and trying so much, why don't you see that took a lot of strength to be able to endure so much? And that is probably what built up your endurance, why you were able to deal with so much even now to this day. But right now, it's a lot of passionate energy. There's a lot of red here. It's something that you're not really stable in yourself. Like I said, this definitely could have been feeding some insecurities in the past here. And you're kind of viewing this new start as it could be kind of the same thing. Maybe you're seeing some kind of same behaviors as before. But I felt like what I'm hearing is you were really passive last time. And if you're really passive, then how do you step into your personal power, Cancerian? For some reason, I feel like your frequency does deal with a lot of adult children. Adult children who are trying to push their button or push your buttons, push your boundaries and stuff like that. Look at this. All this stuff is just spilling out here. So some stuff that we're not seeing is changes in the dynamics of the relationships around you. This could be family dynamics. This could be work dynamics. It's where you frequent. It could be friend dynamics. But dynamics are changing, and having the courage, I feel like, to fly towards it is something that you're worried about. You're worried about changing things up. I feel like you're worried about rocking the boat. Take the next step. Take the next step. And what I have here in reverse is a new exercise program. Take the next step is the only one that comes in upright, whereas family changes, courage, and a new exercise program are in reverse. So definitely I think you feel some kind of sense that you need to do something a little different. You need to make some kind of move, but you're not very sure on how to do it. You're not sure how to, exercise? Could it be exercising your personal power? Exercising, building the type of relationships that you want around you? That could be something as well. It takes a lot of courage to follow your intuition, the insight, even things that you really want to happen, that you want to align with, that you're feeling like you need to align with. There are times where we get put in positions that we don't even understand why we're there, but for some reason we've been called to this place. And it can be very hard to navigate at those times, especially if you're still holding on to the anxieties of the past. What I'm hearing here is you're being highlighted with this because of your people-pleasing skills, Cancerian. Just like Capricorn, you will self-sacrifice everything even yourself, all of yourself, for the things that you love, for the people that you love, the places that you're working hard for. And I feel like that's something that we need to put an end to in a healthy way. Knowing when some compromise is healthy compromise, but also knowing how to stand tall in your personal power, how you feel, what you're doing, what you're trying to make happen, and not backing off. Any good leader doesn't just work out of, their own personal good or the personal good of an individual. A good leader sees how they have to take care of the whole picture, and how over focusing on one could leave them missing out on other things that need to be taken care of. You have to rule as if you are this diplomatic leader at times. Not everybody's gonna understand. Not everybody's gonna like what you're saying either. But that's a part of you being in the position that you're in. Because again, I feel like I'm dealing with somebody who's in like a leading type position here. You're meant to lead others. You're meant to teach others. You are meant to create these harmonious environments for others. You have very strong foundations in what you want to build. Now, the confidence in yourself that you hold as you build it, that's the shaky point, because again, you're afraid to rock the boat. Don't be afraid to rock the boat. You are very strong, independent, Cancerian. You're very strong and you're very independent. That's how you've gotten to the position where you're at now. Keep that in mind too. It's taken a lot of work to get to that position. So let's go ahead and call on the angels and ancestors. What is it that needs to come out for the present? We have a Queen of Swords here. A part of this is you need to stop holding yourself back. Usually a Queen of Swords coming out like this, I'm going to take almost as a little Miss Tyrant, maybe a little too judgmental, a little always cutting people off, quick to assert her opinion, and is less likely to listen to others. But for you in this story, this queen is going to represent somebody a little bit different, I'm feeling. And the different energy that I feel like is being represented here is you don't know how to cut out the bullshit, how to be just straightforward and say no. I think you have a hard time with that because there's a big sense of people pleasing for yourself. This people pleasing, you feel like, is a part of creating this harmonious environment. Yes and no. That could be something that could get you by your Achilles tendon and put you immovable in a sense. Again, a good leader knows how to command, and they know how to, or they learn how to command, but they learn that they have to be precise when it comes down to taking care of things. They know that they have to execute the plan that they have, whatever moves that they're making, with diligence, but also with no room for others to be able to put their hand in the cookie jar and do what they want still. This person would not put up with that. This person is somebody who's going to call you out right away. This person is also somebody who's going to take things and they're going to handle it right away, opposed to procrastinating. And I feel like there's been a lot of procrastination here when it comes to really feeling that personal power, especially inside your thoughts, opening up to it. Having kindness with yourself when you have to make those diplomatic kind of calls. What else needs to come out? Ooh-wee! Look it, we go from the Queen to the Nine of Swords now. Definitely confused. There's something that you're always looking at. Something that you're always reflecting on. Maybe you take those opinions of others when you upset them home with you at night. Maybe that's the thing. And you really wonder to yourself, was I being too much? Am I doing this? Am I doing that? Oh, look at that. Prince of Swords, Page of Swords. Unsure how to look, which way to look at. Oh, what does that have to do with the things that we've been building? The things that you've been learning, the things that you've been gathering along the way on this journey. Those different things come at the expense of the different experiences that I'm hearing to say that fulfilled you or made you learn how to fulfill yourself. You've been put in a position of overseeing others for a reason because you have the fulfillment. You have these credentials here, I want to say, but for some reason, when you look at your credentials, when you reflect on stuff, you really feel like that doesn't add up to anything. You always look away from those credentials, from the wisdom. And again, that's that doubt in your mind. But why? What is it? What is it? I'm very curious about this page. Y'all seen how that came out? I've had to explain this a few times. I know sometimes it feels like I'm playing card tricks up here. There has to be something up my sleeve for stuff to come out the way it does. But honest, it's literally your guides out here, your angels, your ancestors, divine and universal energy here trying to get these messages across to you that you've been having a hard time receiving. And so the reason why I do that is because to clarify the Prince of Swords, which I'm reading as the Page of Swords, comes the Page of Swords in a very confused position. I mean, there could be a sense of imposter syndrome that you face with yourself, honestly. That's one thing that stands out about this page. There is a sense in you knowing what you've created in your past, but there's a sense of feeling a lot of failure from what you've created in the past. That's what I get. This is kind of what you look away from, but you look back on. You look towards this imposter feeling, but you look back on how whatever you've created in this past, how it didn't come to full blossom. It didn't get to the the 10 of Cups, I should say. 9 of Cups is that self-fulfillment. I should go back to the 9 of Cups, excuse me. 9 of Cups is that full self-fulfillment of achieving what you were working for. Whew. Holy moly. Alright, so what else needs to come out for the present? For the Cancerian community. Oh man. So I have the Three of Cups, Six of Wands, Six of Staves over here. And then I have this Queen of Cups. What I'm hearing is you would just like people to understand what kind of program you're trying to get them with, the moves that you're trying to make, the things that you're trying to bring in, how you're trying to lead in something. But I feel like the repugnance is what I'm hearing. The revolving door of things is you end up in these communities that are, what I'm hearing, are sour. They're very, very sour. And they could be very self-driven, only out for themselves kind of thing. Which leaves you at the end of the day really upset. Not knowing how to feel, not knowing even how to come in and be this nurturer type of energy. It's almost like you feel like the level of empathy and compassion that you have for others around you is almost a weakness. That's what I get with that. I don't think it's a weakness. You can have that empathy, you can have that compassion, but you also have to understand that that needs to be brought back to you. And understanding what you're doing, the moves that you're making, because not everybody's going to see what you're doing. Not everybody's going to understand what you're doing. If you're in a lead position and you're dealing with employees who are not invested in the company like you are, then they don't see things from your perspective. If this is the same with a family, then that's the same thing. I mean, we can't pick our family members. That is one of life's injustices. What was that off of? Was it from The Man from the Snowy River? I can't remember. Awesome movies, though. Then I have 13, Transformation, aka the Death card. Landing right on top of these past fulfillments. So that was supposed to be the thing that, again, that helps you take off the different ball and chains that you wear of the different insecurities that you have. You're supposed to learn a little bit more about yourself when it comes to these different places that you worked really hard for, the different things that you worked really hard for or towards. Alright, let's see. I'm hearing a few more cards. What are the last few cards? Ooh. This has to do with you being able to rule over your kingdom versus these other ones who want to do what they want to do, in a sense. We have this 10 of Pentacles. You're not seeing a certain kind of success. You're not seeing how you can find stability. And then we have the Hangman, which is also known as Sacrifice, in reverse, that came out too. I would say you almost don't believe in that things can be different when it comes to future endeavors, even the right now endeavor, whatever this new thing that is that's happening or it has came about. I don't know if you're already deeming this as the same as what's before kind of energy as well. That's what I get with that. Hangman could also be being able to look at things from a different view. We have the Hangman in reverse. Maybe you've been looking at things from a backwards view. Maybe it's time to stand up, stand tall in yourself, and see things from the view of you recognizing your accomplishments this whole time. How you've worked from point A to point B to point C all the way to Z. Never skipping a level, but experiencing every part of this again to get you to this point of where you're at now. Oof. Oof, oof, oof. It's a lot of being able to recognize who you are, Cancerian. You are special. You have style. You have grace. You have been selected to be in this position for a reason. Now, what's your personal reason? The things that you got to work through to take off all those ball and chains, that's on your interpretation. But just know whatever has to do with these ghosts of the past, these partnerships of the past, the different skins that you shedded of the past, the different crowns, the different hats that you've worn of the past, the different tables that you sat at, the different veils that you had to pull back, the different kingdoms, different places that you've been to. That was all a part of you being able to build up to now this present moment. But I don't feel like it was meant for you to be harder on yourself. So let's go ahead and call in the angels of protection to help guide us through the Cancerian block. Right here I have What's the Tea Oracle. Because we're going to dig into some of this drama of your past, I feel like. I feel like there may have been something there that definitely carried up maybe a reminder into a lot of the other adventures that you had taken after that original one. I'm not sure. And that could have been the very thing that you're still feeling to this day. The very thing that makes you judge a book by its cover. But let's go ahead and call in the angels of protection. Help guide us as we navigate the Cancerian's block here. What is it that needs to come out for the block? Yeah, just like I was saying. There is some kind of thing that you're still hooked onto when it comes to the past. Excuse me. It has to do with an emotional side to you. An emotional side that was maybe hoping something would have been a little bit more stable or offered more stability than what was actually there. Maybe something that you also thought you could fix and it would become something more. Something you gave a lot of your time to, I feel like. What else needs to come out? Ignoring. Family changes, end of the era, join in. I feel like one thing that you felt like was your biggest mistake in the past is something that you over focus on with this ignoring like this. And it's also something that, again, it makes it hard for you to rock the boat when it comes to changing up the dynamic of things. Even when it comes to you fully wanting to commit yourself to something new. Or even the idea of finally letting something go of the past. Played out. Maybe that's the view that they want you to take, is to realize that it's just been played out. Whatever it is that has to do with that one community that really affected you, that one place, it's played out. Seeing that you have an option to pick up your head and see a direction that you can take off in. You see how that person has their head down, this one has their head up. Being able to be really stable, grounded out in yourself, in the journey of where you're at, your lane, what's meant for you, what's your path. But again, also having that clear thoughts around it as well. What I'm hearing is seeing is believing, and you gotta get this going in the mind first. Creeping. Who's creeping? You're creeping. Stop creeping on the past. Stop checking up on it. Stop looking at what's going on with it. Stop comparing your apples to their oranges. It's two different things. The flavors are too different. It didn't work out because it was so different from what you wanted to do. You gotta let it go. You gotta stop creeping on it. You gotta stop looking from the different angles that you've been able to still observe this on. This could be via social media. This could be driving by. I mean, we could have times where we go back and we visit an old company to go pick up something. We could have, we can find reasons to go back and deal with somebody. Just to see how it's doing, to see if there is a difference with us being gone. And that's you leaving your energy there and still holding on to this ball and chain at the same time. It's like you're dragging it, but at times you want to carry it. And that's a part of you staying hooked on it. You have to like really, really be ready to be done with it kind of thing. But that's when you're ready. This is definitely when you're ready. Ooh. So this steady creeping on it, this steady keeping hooked on it, trying to check in what's happening now, so many years, days, months later, and not being able to fully start ignoring what's happening, you know, with this place, with this person, you know, not being able to put an end to this. This is something that stresses you out. You don't know it, but it does. And it could be something that also creates the anxieties, those uneasy feelings that you reach to other things to cope with. I think I read somewhere that Cancerian energy, I can't remember where I read this, but I want to say it was in particular to Cancerian energy. Cancerians really get satisfied with food. They have a thing for emotional eating, I want to say. But this is definitely, I'm not just going to put bad habits to just drugs. This is going to be our coping mechanisms here. This is something that you are still using things to cope with from this experience. But again, you revisiting this experience, you checking up on it, is keeping you stressed out about it. You still have the hooks into yourself from this place. You haven't gave yourself permission even to take the weight off of whoever, whatever this is, off of your shoulders and let it go to the wayside. That just means you cared a lot. That is okay. It is okay to care. It is okay to work for things. Sometimes we can work so much for something and it didn't work out. It just didn't work out because that's as far as we could get that to progress. How can you look at it from a different view that was all you could do with it? That's all she wrote for this particular person, place, or thing. And opening up that you've been guided out of there because you still have more to offer. You still have more things to bring in. And here was not that place for it. This wasn't going to do it for you, and you felt it. That's why you made the choices you made back then to move forward, to try and move on from it. Something that we're not seeing is in their head. Overthinking, stressed, over analyzing. I think this comes down to now the communities that you go into. any community that you go into. You don't know what to think. You don't know if it's going to repeat the same thing. You don't even know how to focus or even how to look at it. It's kind of like, it's almost like, again, you're judging the book by its cover, feeling like this is it. This is going to be the same thing over and over again. And what I have here is unfazed, karmic friends in reverse, and same shit, different day. So for the block, this is definitely expressing that whatever this once was a karmic thing. Again, as we said, that you weren't going to be able to do much because it reached its limits. It reached its limits on what you could do with it, how you could grow from it, how you could move it forward. How can you be able to sit with the outcome? How to sit comfortably within what has happened. Be able to understand that that was yesterday, today is today, and it's time to move forward. It's time to focus on your today now instead of your today that was however long ago. Anything else want to come out for the block? Anything else want to come out for the block? Well, let's see, something that you think is a little tricky. Rejected. That's what this has to do with. This has to do with you working so hard and them not honoring it. Whoever this was, they didn't honor it. They rejected you in the long run. They rejected all the work that you did, everything that you tried to have happen here. It was rejected. And that is what left that sour taste in your mouth. It's also something that you could feel like has definitely created this kind of feeling defeated because you worked so hard. This could be that defeated that you feel that you reach the coping mechanisms. I mean, trying to sit here and really look back on if you were the best thing that happened to this kind of person, place, or thing as well. But the whole thing is, it's time to put this to rest. It's time to let it go. It's time to be okay with it not being on your mind every day and understanding that nothing is going to change there. All it was karmic. Karmic people, karmic place, it was karmic. And anything that is karmic is our biggest lessons here. So, how can we look at this for what it is supposed to teach us? You worked here for some time. You've worked in other places for some time. Now you've made it to this place. You're here for a reason. They seen value in you for a reason. However you got here, whoever this is with, it's for a reason. And it's not to repeat the same mistakes of people walking all over you. You are not a doormat, Cancerian. Leaders cannot be doormats. Just know that. It's okay to feel how you feel, but it is also okay to give yourself permission to process, learn, and let go and go from there. You don't have to keep getting in your way of your new successes by holding on to these old successes that only were meant to go so far? How can you see that that was a starting point to help, again, propel you to where you are at now? Woo-wee. It's a lot. I mean, especially if you've been through the ringer with things, especially if you worked your hardest, you showed up for so much time, you gave it your all, and you had these dreams, you had these ambitions, you had these goals, and it should have worked out. Should have. Should have. Should have isn't a guarantee, though. It's what you were anticipating. It's what you expected. But it's not the plan that the divine had for you. Your plan wasn't to stay in this place where they kept you holding on to your insecurities as well. Because whatever this place was, I don't think it valued you, else you would still be there. There's something that you had to head off and be brought to somewhere new. Think about that. There is a reason why you are not there. Why are you not there? All right, so we made it. Let's go ahead and start this conclusion. Divine and universal energy. What is it that needs to come out for the conclusion? I choose to learn through love. Oneness is my true nature. And that third one is I choose love no matter what. Ooh, oneness and love. Love and oneness. What does that mean? All is nothing and nothing is all. As above, so as below type of thing. Oneness. What does it mean to be within oneness? For me, how I'm going to translate this now, it means to be of this moment, to be within ourselves, in the present, in mindfulness. Oneness. How can we be at one with this moment? How can, when we look back onto our past stuff, how can we do that with loving eyes for ourselves? For that past person who was working really hard for things. How can, instead of critiquing ourselves for what has happened from then until now, how can we choose to love ourselves more and get to know ourselves a little bit better through what was driving us? What were we doing? What were we trying to create, kind of thing? You might find out a little bit more about yourself, Cancerian, because I don't see no ill will here. I don't see no malice. I don't see you trying to get up on people. I don't even see you being a part of the karma like that, in the sense where you weren't the one who was creating it, but you were one who was there to experience it, to learn from it. Don't think that karma just happens because you're being bad. That's not, no. Karma comes in to help get us to learning our lesson. Karma comes in to be that that wake-up call to what we're doing and to help get us going to where we need to be. Something else that I have here is when I think I've surrendered more. I feel like you don't know how to surrender this. And the moment I embrace my peace within and surrender the outcome is the moment that the universe can truly get to work. Surrender. So you're confused about surrender. You're confused about how to release. It all happens one step at a time when it comes to the past. When it comes to even something that we're dealing with even a few days ago, a few hours ago, it's giving yourself permission to close the doors to whatever that is, to open the doors for something else. You can work on journaling. You can go and seek out a counselor, a therapist, a mentor, a psychologist to help work through this. You can also practice positive affirmations. You can practice prayers. I mean, there's loads of things that you can do differently. One thing that I will do and that I've been doing a lot recently is visualizing the doors closing to a situation so that I can focus on something else. So I can focus to bringing myself here into the now, because the situation that I'm visualizing closing the doors on is something that I can't handle right now. It's something that's not in my present moment, even though it's in my present mind. So you can do exercises like that. There's cord cutting exercises I've heard of. For me, a cord cutting exercise that I do is writing letters. I don't send the letters off, but in this letter, I address it to whoever, and I say how I feel, and I finally get stuff off of my chest. That's a part of cord cutting for me. Another thing is cleansing out. Being able to kind of visually wash away stuff. That's a shower meditation. It could be a bath. Going near a body of water, that can help as well. Getting out in nature is a great cleanser and a great decompressor. Going for a 30-minute walk, 15-minute walk, sitting outside on your porch, no music, no screen, just for a little bit, being able to kind of draw yourself into the moment. Another thing that I like to do when my mind is going crazy and I need to bring it back is when I go for a walk, I try and count how many different bird songs I can hear. Again, bringing myself out of the things that I'm overthinking back into the present moment. And when you go back and you give yourself permission, you give yourself time to reflect on stuff, again, seeing it from that view of love, asking for the divine to go ahead and take control of this for you, or even letting the divine know, I surrender this past to you. Are all great things you can do. Definitely have fun doing it. It's not something that's supposed to be a chore. It's not something that is supposed to be scripted a certain way. It's something that you can find many things that could work with you, and it's always working with the best thing that works for you. But the biggest thing is, don't criticize yourself as you're doing this. You need to build yourself up. All right. When I accept love of the universe as my primary teacher, I will always be guided back to the light. You wasn't supposed to be this light over there, wherever there is at. You're not supposed to be there. I don't know. There is something pretty special about you, Cancerian. That's all I can say. And whatever it is that you're still hooked on in this past, it did not treat you like you were special. That's what I get. It kind of treated you opposite. So really going in and really seeing how you were treated, seeing the different things, the different loads they had put onto you, the different expectations, and just see again how you were only meant to be there for so long, to grow, to get you to this other place that you're at now, and being okay with that. Let's work through it so we can work through other stuff. You don't have to stay hung up on this past situation. That ball and chain, whatever it was that you are wearing that fed your insecurity, that's the thing that you need healing. So if they try to make you feel a type of way, let's think about it. Why do people tend to try and reject us before we reject them? Why do people try and talk down to us? It's all to take your personal power to keep you in a certain spot, because heaven forbid you learn your value. You learn your value. You learn your value and you are out of there, not going to deal with their baloney sauce because you realize what's happening and you smell the shit on their freaking shoe. So how can you see that there are many reasons why you're not there anymore? Many reasons why the divine has guided you out of that and brought you to the now. All right, so it sounds like this is definitely a heavy reflecting kind of period for you, Cancerian. One that you do with the lenses of love for yourself. One that you do with the openness that you can surrender this past to the divine. And that the divine is here for you, not to weigh you down, but to help break you free from your insecurities. All right, this is going to conclude it. Thank you so much for your time, your energy, and your patience with me. Don't forget to thank your angels, ancestors, and spirit guides for helping bring out all these positive messages. And I hope, Cancerian, that you have a most wonderful, wonderful, wonderful rest of your day.